Hello guys, and welcome to another Red Life Studio episode. Please subscribe and give me a like, and share my videos if you're enjoying them. Also, feel free to leave me a comment below. Now let's begin with today's stories.
My girlfriend cheated on me, but she now deeply regrets it. Briefly put, the girlfriend, now ex, lied and cheated a lot. She has realized she made mistakes and has problems, therefore she is seeking therapy. She also wants a second chance, even if it takes a while. I had been deeply in love with this girl for the past 2 years. However, since the start of 2022, we've had some difficulties because I've been dealing with some personal issues. We were fighting frequently over little issues and not getting together very much. When she attended a friend's wedding in February and saw her ex there along with her college pals, things kind of took a turn. To put her ex in perspective, he is a walking red sign that everyone should stay away from. He is an absolute C-word of a person. Even though she had previously informed him why they had split up, he continued to text her every time, telling her that they should get back together and that he was the ideal partner for her. Last year, she had blocked him ultimately. Early in 2022, she unblocked him since she needed advice from an AI or ML specialist, and he was the only one available. After she told me and shown me their texts, I knew right away that he was quietly plotting a long-term strategy to win her back. I informed her that while he is obviously waiting, he hasn't changed and she shouldn't become overly friendly with him. She said, I shouldn't worry because he has zero chance, even though she felt the same way. In February, upon her return from the wedding, I kept asking her whether anything had happened when they saw each other. They had not seen each other for 2 years. Specifically, did he cause a commotion or even attempt to make any kind of move? She insisted that nothing had happened, that it had been a little awkward at first, but that after a while they had resumed their proper conversation like friends. They had been best friends before dating, before she realized what a miserable guy he is. They talked exclusively about life and work, to which she responded that he had changed and that she could trust him. I gave her credit. I didn't have the energy to pay attention to this because I was already going through a personal problem. When I noticed that she is chatting to her ex far more than she used to after returning from the wedding, things started to change. She and the ex were 2 of the 4 members of her college friend group, and they were even organizing a trip together. As I've already mentioned, we were going through a difficult time at the time, and other from our games together, she was meant to be my lifelong cooperative partner. We didn't chat much during those few months. We also had frequent arguments over trivial matters. During one of these, I blurted out that I didn't like how amiable and nice she was becoming with her ex and that I didn't feel comfortable with her traveling with her 4 college buddies because I didn't trust them. She has told the ex that she will cut him off if he ever crosses the line, and she has said this several times. I need to trust her. This sort of continued, and I could see that she was refusing to take action even after I told her I didn't enjoy their newfound intimacy. The battles became really intense. She kept accusing me of being irrational and insecure, but I kept trying to explain to her that it wasn't her, rather, it was him that I didn't trust to take the next step. She also insisted that if he made an attempt, she would ensure his permanent disappearance. He and the other female in her group were going to spend the weekend at her house instead of going on their planned excursion. The girl declined the visitation on the day of the appointment, stating she had an interview, thus the only one visiting her home was her ex. Immediately, I sensed something was off, that the girl and the ex had orchestrated this so he could have time alone with my girlfriend. However, I later felt that I was overanalyzing this and acting irrationally. I told her that I didn't like how things were going, but she assured me that her parents were still at home and that he couldn't do anything. He spent the entire weekend at her place before going out to see their other pals in the city. She had made a last-minute decision on Sunday night, so she took the following Monday off from work. On Monday, he finally vanished. I tried not to think about it at all for the past 2 months, but I couldn't help myself, and it was driving me insane that her ex was seeing her more often than I was. She got upset when I contacted her non-stop at first, asking all sorts of questions like where she was and what they had done. We had another little altercation and hadn't texted each other since Sunday night. Eventually, on Monday, after he left, we got into yet another heated argument. I informed her that I needed a break since I was under a lot of stress at the time and this additional uneasiness was becoming too much for me to handle. She assured me that I had no cause to be insecure and that she respected and understood my choice. As a result, we agreed to give one another some room. The public holiday that followed the weekend above was that one. My girlfriend stated she would go spend the weekend at the other girl's place, who had previously dropped out, and the ex would also return. This is essentially what they were meant to do, have a sleepover at my girlfriend's residence. This time, I made a greater effort to relax and have faith in her. Had no altercations. On Sunday, we got together and had a great time. The following week, my friends and I were taking a trip, which I really needed in order to relax and rejuvenate. On Sunday, we had a conversation, reaffirmed our love for one another, and decided that this trip would be the necessary remedy. The trip was successful, and I felt renewed. I contacted her the day I got back, saying I couldn't wait to see her and kiss her one more. As fate would have it, an unforeseen event occurred. Essentially, I discovered that her Google Photos account was linked to mine, so I went there in search of her amusing self-portraits. I used to create stickers out of them. To my surprise, I discovered several images of her and her former partner from the wedding. No, taking pictures with male buddies wasn't out of order. However, the reason these stood out was because, despite her claims that they never took a picture of the two of them alone, all of their images were taken in groups. Here were several pictures that, for some reason, she felt she had to hide. As I looked more, I discovered a few more suspicious images, but they were still easily explained. Up until the two screenshots that set off my alarm. Two WhatsApp conversation screenshots showing her and her ex calling one other babe. In background, I was aware that she only refers to her lover as baby and finds it awkward when someone else uses the term for anything other than a cutesy reference. I am aware of this because we got into an argument a while back when she discovered that I had a female friend who called me babe. She calls all of her friends that way. I made the decision to speak with her. Showed her the pictures and the screenshots. She claimed that the screenshot of her calling him babe was an error. On the other hand, she acknowledged that he still calls her in such instance. She said that it was just her and that he didn't refer to the other female as babe when I questioned. In essence, my mind thought, I have been telling you to keep your distance from him, and you kept saying that everything is fine, and all along there has been blatant proof that proves me right and you consciously hid it. I ended everything right then. I understand that I have been referring to her as girlfriend all this time, when it actually should be ex-girlfriend. Sorry for that. This was followed by a roller coaster of revelations. She continued lying and was discovered, so she lied more to hide it, which caused things to go out of control. She first claimed there was nothing to it, then she acknowledged that she had flirted and lightly reciprocated his advances. Later, they made out, but she refused to have sex, so he tried to force himself on her at the wedding but was unsuccessful. He then took advantage of her once more when they got wasted at a friend's apartment. Finally, she admitted that there had been full-blown cheating since January, when they had planned a trip to have sex, flirted and had sex on chat, talked about ending their relationship, and had sex at both her home and her friend's house. She has persisted in believing that he forced himself on her at the wedding despite everything. She acknowledged that she had made a grave error. According to her account, the exploitation by the college classmates and ex-partner has exacerbated her long-standing problems. We had a disagreement on marriage since I don't think marriage works and because I grew up in a broken home. I told her that before we consider getting married, we should be together, get to know one another, and develop our relationship for at least 5 years. However, she desired marriage, and it seems that my remarks caused her to begin having second thoughts. This, along with the fact that my family is not stable, seems to have exacerbated her fears and overanalyzing. She was also somewhat exposed because early in 2022 we were also going through a difficult time. At that point, the buddies and the ex entered the picture. They insisted over and over that she would be far better off with him since he is prepared to wed her in 2 years, has a nice family, and that she is only a gamer girl when she is capable of so much more, and that I am bringing her down. She apparently went so far as to ask the other girl to keep her company when she is with her ex because she doesn't want anything to go wrong. She too experienced severe FOMO, so she followed their instructions in order to remain in the group. Anyway, after the breakup, some more things happened, and I notified her school friends, who are excellent people, I promise, so that they could support her. She came to see how much she had been duped and how much she had fouled up. She stopped talking to the group altogether and began seeing a therapist. She used to be a disaster, she was always crying and miserable. Anyway, 2 months have passed since our breakup, and we now live in different cities. But will shortly be back in the same city. She insists that she is aware of how grave her mistakes have been. She knows there is a lot of harm done here, yet she still loves me and can't bear to lose me. She then goes on to explain that this is the reason she wants to use therapy to recover, get well, and change. She asks me to give her an opportunity to at least earn back my trust before judging whether or not she is improving. And to at least give things another chance, even if it's years from now, if I think that she has changed. Please feel free to subscribe and enable notifications if you like this kind of content, would want to see more of it, and would like to support the channel.